Today in our 2017 Ford Fusion, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the CURT Class 2 Custom Fit Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C12091. So here's what our hitch is going to look like once we have it installed in our Fusion. All we're going to see is the receiver tube sticking out right below our bumper, and the cross tube is going to be hidden right behind the fascia here. It is a Class 2 hitch, which means it's going to give us that 1¼ by 1¼ receiver tube opening, and it's going to be great for those accessories like your bike racks or cargo carriers, or if you're towing a small trailer. The way we're going to mount any of our accessories is going to be through the hitch pin hole here on the side, and it is going to accept a standard 1/2" pin and clip. Now the safety chain connection points are going to be a loop style, and we're going to have plenty of room to get most size hooks on or off and not really have to worry about any kind of interference. The hitch itself is going to have a 350-pound tongue weight, and that's going to be the maximum downward force at the receiver tube. It's also going to have a 3,500-pound gross trailer weight rating, which is the amount it can pull, including the trailer and everything we have loaded on it. Now with all of that in mind, you always want to double check your Fusion's owner's manual to make sure you don't exceed the manufacturer's recommended weight. Now CURT also recommends the use of a stabilization strap anytime that you're towing any non-trailer loads like bike racks or cargo carriers or anything that's not supported by tires. I'd like to give you a few measurements, and that's going to help you when deciding for accessories for your new hitch, such as a bike rack or a cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost edge of the bumper, it's going to be right about 6 inches. Now that measurement's going to come in handy whenever you're looking at folding accessories to make sure you have adequate clearance between the accessory and the bumper itself. From the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening, it's going to be right about 11 inches. At that height, I definitely would recommend a bike rack or a cargo carrier with a raised shank to make sure that we have adequate ground clearance. So now that we've seen what our hitch looks like and gone over some of the features, let's show you how to get it installed. To begin our installation, we're going to come to the very back of our Fusion, and at the bottom towards the center of our bumper, we're going to have a panel that's going to be in between our outer bumper and our muffler. Now we're going to have 4 10mm bolts holding it in place that we're going to have to remove. There's going to be one right towards the outside of the frame here. And then if we move towards the center, we'll have another one on this side. And then we'll have another 2 on the other side. And then along the bottom edge of our fascia here, we're going to have 3 bolts on each side that we're going to have to remove. Now I'm going to be using a 7mm socket to pull those out. With all those bolts removed, you can pull the panel down and set it aside because we're not going to be reinstalling it. Now on the bottom of our frame here, we're going to have several holes and that stud that we pulled out holding that 10mm nut in place. Our 2 mounting locations on each side of our frame are going to be this oval hole towards the center of our frame, and if we move back, this round hole towards the front of our vehicle. So we're going to start by taking our fish wire, and we'll take the coiled end and we're going to feed it in through that oval hole, and we're going to want it to come out towards the outside of the frame there on this oval hole, which is going to be used for our access point. Now you want to make sure you leave that tail sticking out the first hole so that we don't pull the wire all the way through. And we're going to take our square spacer block, we're going to feed it over the coiled end of our wire, and then thread on one of our carriage bolts. Then in one piece at a time, we're going to push our block and then bolt into the frame. We're going to pull the wire until it drops through. And we're going to do that for our other mounting location as well. It kind of helps to put a slight curve in that wire so that we can get it to pop out the access hole. Push our hardware through, pull our wire until it drops down. Now we're going to do the same process on the other side using the same holes in the frame. Now with an extra set of hands, we're going to lift our hitch into position. We're going to feed our wires from the top, going down through the corresponding holes in our hitch. And we're going to be using the 2 oval holes for our mounting locations. So we'll lift it up over the exhaust. So it lines up. We'll remove our pull wire. We're going to take our 1/2-inch flange nuts and make sure that we get at least one on each side so the hitch will support itself. Now I'm going to come back with a 3/4 inch socket and snug up all my hardware. I'm going to come back with a torque wrench and I'm going to torque all my hardware down to the specified amount in the instructions. And we'll repeat that for any remaining hardware. And that'll finish up your look at the CURT Class 2 Custom Fit Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C12091 on our 2017 Ford Fusion.